Hello everyone, Counterspell Hatred here, back with another EDH guide. You thought we were taking a throwback today? Nuh-uh. Not after I found Isshin, two heavens as one. And boy, is it a monster of a commander. If a creature attacking would cause a triggered ability of a opponent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. This is a great deck, I can tell. And if you want to see more stuff like this, Kemi Gun and Neon Dynasty stuff, I might should Strixhaven in there. Well, but if you want to see more stuff like this, comment down below. I'm sure first comment, you know the deal. I'll hold up my end of the bargain. All you just gotta do is be first comment, name of commander. Let's get into this. First with Murag, Fury of Akam, to buff up our creatures for each time they have attacked in a turn, and to give us additional combats for playing lands. Karazikar, the Eye Tyrant. For whenever we attack a player, we can tap a creature they control, and then goad it. So this is to help us draw cards, and it's gonna cause our opponents to lose life, but it's also gonna cause us to lose life. However, it's also gonna direct like scary things away from us that we don't want. Parasitic Impetus, to slowly drain someone and again get something away from us that is scary. Crown of Doom could just outright finish someone off. I mean, that is if that player is attacked by even one creature, that creature is getting +4/+0. And the fact that you can be targeted by this to gain control of it once you send it to someone else is amazing. Cunningham Red Torch, I have no idea. To kind of, again, swing attention away from us, because if our opponents do happen to attack us, we get to start exiling cards off of their library and being able to play them, which I believe most players don't want. Archon of Cruelty, to whittle down our opponent's board state, hand size. Oh wow, it just does all of it. I thought it was an option, like Curse of Scarabs or whatever it was. No, it's just discard, sacrifice, lose 3 life, and then on top of that, we get to gain 3 life and draw a card. But because our commander's doubling it up, that means whenever this attacks, our target opponent has to sacrifice a creature or planeswalker, sacrifice 2 creatures or planeswalkers, discard 2 cards, lose 6 life, and then we get to gain 6 life and draw 2 cards, which is amazing. Martial Impetus could point a big creature at someone else and make it even bigger and possibly kill said person it is pointed at. Curse of Opulence to help us with mana, and then maybe just help the entire board. So like you're teaming up against someone because they've become a threat. Well, you start attacking them, and suddenly you're going to start racking up gold like it's the end of the world. Curse of Vitality to help us gain life again, and if someone's in trouble and you need them to keep someone from like winning the game because they're a threat at the table, this is also good. Curse of Disturbance to help making army. But most importantly, these 3 curses are like any other curse. It's to bring attention away from you, not towards you. Tectonic Giant, to help us deal more damage within a turn, or allow us to get some more options. And we can choose, so we can choose the first option twice, the second option twice, or both only once. Brain of the Demagogue. This is amazing for politics. Probably the best card in this deck when it comes to keeping opponents away from us. And it allows us to buff up our creatures. And in exchange for us not being attacked, our opponents are getting to draw cards, but still, it's nice that we don't have all this attention that we don't want. Olivia Crimson Bride as an amazing reanimator due to her reanimation ability. And since the attack triggers are doubled and she has haste, on the turn she comes out, she can bring 2 creature cards back from the dead from our graveyard. Of course, it'd be pretty broken if it was anyone's. Godo, Bandit Warlord. When he enters battlefield, of course, we get to search for something, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that he can give us an additional combat phase. Well, 2. Okay, technically he gives us 2. However, I don't know if those like would stack together and just be 1, or if they'd like be 2 separate combat phases, like because the attack trigger happens at the same time. So like how would that work is what I'm wondering. Like because he attacked and he triggered, right? You get 1 in combat phase, but if it's doubled, but it's happened on the same phase, so that'd be combat phase. Since it triggered on the same phase, would you have 2 additional combat phases going on at the same time, which would then just be 1? That's kind of what I'm wondering. If one of you could answer that in comments, that'd be great. But he's just there to give us extra combat. Triumphant Adventurer. I put him in here so we could venture into the dungeon. Well, the player could, I guess I should say. Venturing into the dungeon is actually more powerful than what you may believe in this deck, because this can help you get out creatures thanks to venturing into dungeon. I think it's of the Mad Mage. Like being able to venture into the dungeon of the dungeon of the Mad Mage. I mean, that's being able to cast something for free. It's one of those dungeons, or it can allow you to have like a lot of utility. Like there's like some other dungeon that can give you treasure. It's how like Primal Storm. If this doesn't immediately get wiped off the face of the board, good luck for your opponents, because now each and every turn when this thing attacks, well, every time it attacks, I should say, you are not exiting 1 but 2, the top 2 cards of your opponent's, of everyone's library, in fact, and you're able to cast all of those cards for free. So that means you could be casting 8 spells for free on your turn, plus whatever you've cast on that turn. So this is a pretty busted card to be in here. Dragorseth, Law of Flames, can help us get rid of some annoyances, but mainly just in here to deal a lot of damage. Sword of the Animist really can help with lands. Revenge of Ravens to once again keep our opponents from attacking us, because now whenever they attack, if our commander's out, they're going to be losing 2 life and we gain 2, and suddenly it will become apparent to them one way or another that they are in fact losing more life than they are dealing damage to us, and we're gaining more life we're gaining more life than the amount of damage they're doing. You get what I'm saying. Duelist Heritage, pretty good again for like team working in politics, because with this in your commander you can give 2 creatures double strike, and it's just any attacking creature. So that could be 2 of your creatures with double strike heading to smack someone. Search the premises. So now if we're beginning to get attacked, we start investigating, which allows us to create artifacts we can sacrifice to draw cards. it'll hog the raised board to I have lost words. Let me get my mind straight. It's just to put out cheat out creatures. There we go. I just had to, yeah, cheat out creatures. Really broken in this, especially in this deck, because now we are able to cheat out 2 creatures when this thing attacks, thanks to our commander. And when this dies, well, you can see it, I think, but when it dies, it actually doesn't go away. It just gets set 3rd from the top in our library. So this thing also never goes away, even if you exile it. Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice, to buff up some of our creatures, but also for the mentor, to give +1/+1 counters to some of our lesser creatures. Aurelia, the War Leader, for additional combat. Again, let me know how that works. Campaign of Vengeance. This could just start draining a whole bunch of our opponents. Excuse me. Vengeful Ancestor. Once again, swing creatures we don't like away from us, and can also lead to dealing a lot of damage. Sun Titan. We've got a decent amount of 3 mana CMC cards in here, so we could get some value out of this. And even if we don't have like 3 CMC or less permanent cards in our graveyard, we have lands which count actually. So yeah. Then there's Grave Titan to make us an army, Infernal Titan to deal a bunch of damage, Nadir, Selfless Paladin, once again venturing into the dungeon, and it can buff up our creatures as long as we've completed one. Scourge of the Throne. Dethrone is pretty good. So if someone is at a rather high life total, we can dethrone them. Obviously by attacking them. And then Scourge of the Throne here will get stronger. And this can also give us additional combat phases if we are attacking the player with the most life or tied for most life. Flame Rush Rider. So this can start creating copies of our creatures, which is insane because that means we can get something like Grave Titan, then we get a whole bunch of zombies within a turn. Like, to be exact, this would trigger twice. So say we attack with Grave Titan, right? We've already got 2 zombies. Then this triggers. Then we create 2 more Grave Titans that are attacking, right? We've already created 6 zombies within a single turn. Not to mention 3 6/6 creatures that are attacking and have Death Touch. They do go away at the end of the turn, but that is 18 power and toughness with Death Touch, mind you. That is attacking someone. Goldspan Dragon to help us with mana. Suddenly our treasures produce a lot more. Brutal Horde Chief. Gain us a bunch of life. Start draining opponents. And it really allows us to be flexible when it comes to attacking, because now with this we have the ability to choose how our opponent blocks our creatures, and we can also force our opponents to block. Hell Rider, to again deal a lot of damage. Krenko Tin Street Kingpin, create a bunch of goblins. Mardu Ascendancy, since we're mostly attacking with non-token creatures, we'll be able to make an army thanks to this. Leonin War Leader to create us an army. Ulag of Ceaseless Hunger, it's game over at that point. I mean, exiling 40 cards from the top of your opponent's library, your opponent only has a matter of turns before they die of mill. Parhelion 2 to make 4 angels within a turn if we have our commander out, which for those of you who don't like to do math, That is 16 power and toughness that also happens to possess flying and vigilance and is attacking your opponents, along with this 5/5 with flying, first strike, and vigilance. Argus Koss, Wojek Veteran, to buff up our red and white creatures twice. Thundering Raiju, deal a bunch of damage, buff up our board. Calculating Lich, drain the life out of our opponents. Hero of Bladehold to buff up our board and create a bunch of tokens that are typed and attacking. Gazul, Tyrant of the Glyphs, to once again swing all that attention we don't want directed at us away from us. But if our opponents do decide to kind of pay attention to us and start attacking us, one of two things can happen. Either A, if our commander is out, either A, they pay 6 and we get nothing out of it, or they don't pay anything, and we get 2 3/3s that are able to defend, or they pay 3 and they don't pay for the other trigger. Either way, it's going to be this makes it very difficult for our opponents to attack us without issues. Delina, Wild Mage, since she attacks, we'll be rolling a d20 twice, and so the fact that the token she creates is not legendary, that means we can have a bunch of tokens of our commander, which then, well, that gets nuts quick. And the fact that you can get like a 14 on one of those dice you roll, and like a 15 or higher on a 14 or lower on one, and a 15 or higher on the other is insane. Either way, rolling 2 d20 and possibly, but with like guaranteed results like this, I mean, you could go nuts. And there's then there's also the possibility that like you roll like 15 or higher twice. I mean, it's game over at that point. I mean, let's face it. Let's be real here. Adrena, Captain of the Guard, melee, and other creatures you control at melee. I don't need to explain it much more. All you need to know is that I think, if I've interpreted melee correctly, this means in a 4-way, your creatures could possibly get +6/+6 when they attack. And that's just one instance of melee. And with your commander, of course. Shiny Impetus, swing something away from us that we don't want being swung in our direction, and create some treasures. Bastard Cat, to make us an army in a hurry with his -2. Make something indestructible and put a +++ counter on it. Or we have its emblem, which still is pretty cool, but -2 is the main function we want in 4. Spine Rock Knoll, since we're red, we're going to be dealing a lot of damage, probably guaranteed to do 7 or more, thanks to some of our cards. Wind Brisk Heights, since we're attacking, like it's what we're themed after. So this won't be much of a difficulty. I said Watchtower, Talbot's Lands, Homeward Path. So in case like someone like pulls off a mass manipulation for actually pulls like 100 something, we can just play Homeward Path and then gain control, and then everyone gains control of all creatures he or she owns. So that way there are no problems in that department. What is that? Like Agent of Treachery business or anything like that. Vault of the Archangel to buff up our creatures with Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. And then we have 15 swamps, 15 plains, I almost said islands, and 15 mountains, all basic. And with that, the end of this commander guide starring Isshin, Two Heavens as One. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. We are only 1 subscriber away from 25 subscribers. You guys surprised me with like the rate at which I'm gaining subscribers. Keep it up. I really like it. Thank you for all who are currently subscribed right now. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you're the first to comment, which you should comment on this video, you should comment on all my videos. I like feedback. But if you're the first to comment on this one, then, well, you know the deal. You type in the name of commander you want to see next, and then I will fulfill my end of the bargain, and I will fulfill your request in a future episode as soon as I can. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, that way you don't miss more of this content, and share my videos with others on other social platforms or through whatever means you like. And go watch my other videos. They're pretty good too. Anyways, that is it. I will see you next time. And I've been forgetting to do my chant lately, so here it is. Remember, no counter spells.